What up, what up, what up? It's K.Honesty, and I'm about to do a review of Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 7, Episode 15. So if you haven't seen the 15th episode of Season 7 of Tyler Perry's Sistas, turn this video off, go watch the episode, come back and watch this video. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel. It is a simple, free, anonymous way to help an up-and-coming Black content creator such as myself. So if you want to support, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. As you can see, I am not a public speaker, so I will tend to fumble my words. You will hear me say and so and like 1,000 times. I may stop to regain my thoughts. I may slow my speaking down to regain my thoughts. I'll be looking at my notes that I take throughout the show. It is what it is. And anything I say, it's my opinion. It does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. And yeah, comment below what you would grade this week's episode, what you thought of this week's episode. If I forget anything, if I'm off on anything, let me know in the comments because I'd be forgetting stuff. And yeah, I like to grade the episodes before and after my reviews. I'm going to grade this week's episode. What happened on this week's episode? I think right now I'm gonna have to give it a C+. I've just finished watching it and I just had to say to myself what happened. So that's how you know it wasn't good. I'm gonna say C+. Did I just say C-? Maybe I said C-. C- or C+. We'll see by the time I'm done talking about it. I gotta refresh my brain. And that's sad because I just watched it. I know I'm burnt out, but it should have been something memorable and it wasn't. But either C+ or C-, we shall see by the end of this review. Again, Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 7, Episode 15. If you have not seen it, turn this video off. I'm about to spoil the entire episode. Spoiler alert. Ooh. Boy, it's good. Okay. So, the episode begins with, last episode, at the end of last week's episode, Jordan comes in and they make a scene like Jordan catches Ethan, his new campaign liaison. We think that Jordan catches him planting the bug behind the picture frame of him and Andy. So, Jordan's like, what are you doing? So Ethan, he brushes it off, says he was admiring Andy in the picture, and then the picture failed, so he was just picking it up. So this nigga Jordan's so dumb, he buys the shit. He's like, I don't pay you to be admiring my girl. I'm just like, really, nigga? They doing construction out there. They always doing construction when I'm off. It is what it is. So Andy, she walks in. Jordan introduces her to Ethan. That's when I found out that was his campaign liaison. So Jordan tells Andy he was about to go to the gym with the boys, but he'll just go out there and tell them that he's not going no more. So as he goes out there to do that, Andy starts to getting to know Ethan and whatnot. And they cut away to the salon. And as Trey is leaving the salon, Pam's checking him out. So then Pam, she asks Karen if she was playing hard to get when she curved Trey. Oh my God, all that beeping is blowing me. So she asked Karen, was she serious when she curved Trey? And Karen's like, yes, I'm pregnant, 2 baby daddies. No, I was serious. So Pam's like, so you wouldn't be mad if you seen them dating somebody else? So Karen's like, no. So Pam's like, well, I'm trying to get with him. And Karen like spits her coffee out, starts laughing. And that's when she was like, oh, I'm sorry. Then she apologizes to Pam like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. Like it was like it would be funny of you. Like she laughed like to offend, she laughed and said she didn't do it to offend Pam. But in some little way, I feel like Karen always trying to belittle Pam a little bit. I don't know. But it's like she look up to you, bitch. She said you was one of her role models or some shit in one of them episodes. So then we could just say as a teamless, they discussing Michael's disability. If you watch my sister's reviews, then you know that when I say Zatima, I mean Zach and Fatima. When I say Fatima, I just mean Fatima. When I say Zach, I just mean Zach. You should know by now if you watch my reviews. So when I say Zatima, I mean them both. But anyway, we get this scene as Zatimas, and they discussing Michael's disability. Him not speaking yet and things like that. His trauma. So then Zach suggests that one of them take Michael to school every day. Because he's worried that Michael be getting picked on the school bus or something like that. And And I'm just like, y'all just had a disagreement last episode because Fatima felt like she was too overwhelmed with having to take care of Michael to focus on her studies, which is why she got a D. And now you suggesting that one of y'all take the ride. I mean, I get it. I get where Zach's coming from. He don't want his son to be bullied or whatever the case may be. So he just like, Fatima basically tells him like that would just fuck up our schedule, basically. Next thing you know, Danny, she shows up unannounced. And they like, what are you doing here? Then we cut away to Sabrina and Maurice having lunch. And Maurice, he talks about being irritated that the coworkers are like talking behind his back, staring at him, because of the whole Q situation. Sabrina stresses about still not finding a sperm donor. And this is when Maurice suggests Calvin. So I'm like, oh, so we about to get Calvin coming back? I thought we was done with Calvin since since Rich came in the picture. But I wonder how Rich gonna feel about Tony. I mean, not Tony. I wonder how Rich gonna feel about Calvin being her sperm donor. He can be like, y'all might as well get back together, So we get this scene back at Jordan's. He comes back in and Andy's telling Jordan, Ethan was telling me about himself and some of his background. And Jordan starts to like share more of Ethan's accolades, giving him his praises and whatnot. So then Andy, I got weed. Yeah, got weed on my tongue, sorry. So Andy, this is when Andy recalls that her cousin attended the same school that Ethan is claiming in this moment that he went to. So she asked Ethan, like, do you know, I forgot what her cousin's name was. You know his name? I mean, do you know him? Ethan's like, oh, no, I don't recall. I kept my head in the books, whatnot. Then he leaves. So as soon as he leaves, Jordan's like, his body language and body temperature and all that changes. Are you serious? I'm gonna try to talk over this. These motherfuckers just moved in next door doing construction. They about to throw me. I get this 1 week off and I gotta wake up every morning to construction. It's annoying. I feel like every time I'm off for like spring break, winter break, it's always some construction in the morning to where I can't sleep in. It sucks. But anyway, I'm going off script, but anyway, I know y'all can hear that shit. I'm sorry. I'm not good at tech. I don't know how to block out backing noise, so this is what it's gonna be. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm gonna talk as loud and as clear as I can. But anyway, so as soon as Ethan leaves, Jordan like body language changes, and he gets defensive again about Andy and Penelope working against Gary behind his back. So Andy's like, well, how can I fix it? And Jordan's like, you can't. And he's like, and I also don't have the time to focus on you and the campaign. Like making it seem like he really don't want to be dealing with Andy right now. He's like, I don't got time to deal with you and the campaign while Penelope's missing. So then we get this weird ass scene. Ethan, he calls Gary and tells him that Jordan wants him to dig up dirt on Gary and Hudson. So Gary's like, oh, well, go ahead. Just give him some dirt, but, don't give him too much. So then he tells Gary that he was also able to plant the bug behind the picture frame. And I'm like, this nigga Jordan didn't check the frame after he claimed that he dropped it or whatever the fuck he said he did. So the frame just sitting there and you ain't just check it. So now it's a bug. Like, really? So he tells Gary that, and Gary's like, okay, now I got Jordan's place bugged and I got Andy's place bugged. I'm just like shaking my damn head. So, Ethan, he tells Gary when he left, Andy was just getting there and she came with breakfast. In some weird ass fashion, this turns Gary on and Gary starts to undoing his pants and pleasuring himself and start asking Ethan what was Andy wearing. And Ethan's like, what? And then Gary's like, what was she wearing? And Ethan's like, oh, she was wearing this and that. And Gary's like, oh, yeah. Like, it's so nasty, like, so sick. They making Gary a wild-ass nigga now. They done gave Gary has so many layers, it's crazy. So they end the call, and then Gary calls Samira. Because, he horny now. So he talking dirty to her. And as Samira is about to go down and start pleasuring herself, Hayden walks in. So then Tamara, she ends the call. She tells Hayden it was an aunt of hers or something. This nigga Hayden was like, don't be having your people calling my house before 9 a.m. And I'm like, nigga, is that not her cell phone? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm talking about some calling before 9. I was like, what? So then he tells Tamara, like, I gotta go to work. And Tamara's like, so you just gonna leave me here unsatisfied? And Hayden's like, we fucked 3 times last night. How many, you still not satisfied? And Tamara's like, most men would say that's a good thing. And Hayden's like, well, I'm not most niggas. So then he leaves. And, Tamara, she's like, you leave me unsatisfied? So she immediately calls Gary back. And Gary's like, I need to see you now. And Tamara's like, you ever want to get a whiff of this pussy again, you're going to have to pay a lot. So now she just like, fuck it now. If I ain't going to get, because Hayden's talking about he got to deal with Miss Marie if she want to keep getting all this money or whatever, getting the luxurious things from him. So now she trying to figure out her own money scheme, trying to blackmail Gary. Tamara just trying to find a little nest egg any way she can. She a wild bitch, but I ain't mad at her at the same time. So we get back to Marisa and Sabrina. And Sabrina's like, no, Calvin's a bad idea. And Maurice, he's like, if you worry about that white girl he was with, he not with her no more. I saw on his Facebook profile, he's single now. So then Sabrina's body language makes it seem like she's considering Calvin now. So, and when she goes to Karen later in the episode. So we get back to Zatima's, and Danny, she's asking Zach, I need your advice. And Fatima's like, from this nigga? So Zach's like, really? So she says she wants to know how she should apologize to Tony. Then they cut away back to the salon, and Pam, she asking Karen, like, why was it so funny that I wanted to ask Trey out? And Karen's like, I just don't think you're his type. I get what Karen was saying, but at the same time, she didn't say it the way she was supposed to say it. Like, you see, he was attracted to Karen, who is like a taller, darker, brown-skinned woman. And maybe you, Pam, a short, little thicker, light-skinned woman is probably not his type. But she ain't say it like that. She said, we ain't the same one. But she basically was like, he tried to talk to me. So Pam takes that as a dig. She's like, we a lot alike. And she's like, except I don't got 2 baby daddies. Clocked her. She's like, no shade. So Karen's like, all right, go ahead. Try your hand with Trey. So then we get this meeting. Andy and Hayden, they sitting down with Miss Marie. And, Hayden, he hands Marie an itemized list of her husband's secret assets. Goddamn. So Marie's like, is that everything that he has? And Hayden's like, yes. So then Andy, she has this envelope being brought in, and Hayden tries to take shots, talking about something. You multitasking on Miss Marie's dime? And Andy's like, oh, no, not at all. So she's like, I actually have an addendum to your report. I don't know what the hell addendum is. I ain't had time to look it up. Just watched it and about to do just started doing the review, whatever. So Hayden's like, my report is solid. So then Andy hands Miss Marie the envelope, and she says that her PI, along with the top forensics accountant in the country, clocked his ass, like the top forensics accountant in the country and my PI, we discovered more of your husband's hidden assets through, NFTs. So Hayden, he looked stuck. He looked dumb as hell. He like, I'm so sorry, Miss Marie, for missing that. And Marie's like, you just need to tell Andy that she just saved your raggedy ass. The writing is just so old school, but yeah, So we get this scene back as a team where Zach is giving this wild ass advice to Danny about apologizing to Tony, telling her she need to get naked and cook and suck him off while he eating, all that wild shit. And Fatima's telling Danny, you know what, girl, just go to him and be honest and tell him how you feel. I'm so irritated with these people. So Fatima calls Andy, and Andy, she tells Fatima, I got Hayden ass with the NFTs. And Fatima's like, oh, I'm mad, I missed that. So Andy's like, why are you late? So Fatima, she's like, baby Michael, and plus Danny stopped by with man troubles, telling her all this. Next thing you know, Hayden walks in, and Andy ends the call with Fatima. And Hayden's like, you need to stop undermining me, because we supposed to be working together on her case. And Andy's like, you the one that made it a competition. Now get the hell out of my office. We'll never see Andy doing shit, but she clocked his ass in that meeting. So this is when we get the scene where Sabrina, she stops by the salon. She wants to take Karen to an early lunch to talk baby shower. And Karen's like, oh, I can't. The salon is booked. So Sabrina's like, have you talking to Danny? And Karen's like, no, and I don't plan to. She done with Danny. So then Sabrina's like, would you let an ex be your sperm donor? This bitch Karen says, I got 2 of my exes as my sperm donors. Hey, I fucking died when she said that. I said, okay. I was like, I like that. I liked it, that one. So Sabrina, she brings up Maurice's suggestion about Calvin being her sperm donor. And Pam, she right there listening. She like, the yellow nigga that wear the panties? Karen's like, you just stay on my conversations. So Karen, she tells Sabrina, look, I'm not the one to judge. It's gonna be all up to you. It's your baby, your sperm, your vagina, all that. So then we get this scene where Gary texts Tamira. And he's telling her, don't be ignoring me. And Tamira's like, you better leave me alone before I tell my man, tell Hayden. And I'm like, girl, but that bombs you out too. But I guess she don't give a fuck. So Gary's like, tell him. And Tamira's like, I can do better than that. And then sends him a video of them fucking, or her and Gary fucking. And Gary gets angry. I'm just like, okay. But it makes me think like, okay, he probably mad because not only because she showed Hayden, she could show Andy. She could do some other shit with it. I don't know. So then we get this scene at the airport. Tony walks right past Danny, ignores her while she's trying to speak to him. Danny goes to flag him down, and Tony keeps it completely professional with her. Tells her, this is the brochure. We want to do this with the customers, da-da-da. And then he walks off on her. And Danny's like, okay. So we get this scene, Andy and Fatima, they're toasting in Andy's office to, getting Hayden. And, Fatima starts to get apprehensive. She's like, you know what? Maybe we jumping the gun too fast. Hayden might be plotting as we speak. And Andy's just like, take the win, girl. I don't know. So then Hayden, he storms into Gary's office, to tell him about what Andy pulled at the meeting. And then they get to talking about Tamira, I think, because Gary calls her something. And Hayden's like, hey, that's my girl now. But they get to talking about Tamira, and Hayden's like, he caught feelings for her, but he don't think she feels the same way. And then he's like, she be super cagey with her phone. He's like, I know where the proof at. The proof is in her phone. So I guess he's going to try to get attached to her phone. And we don't know if Gary wants that or not. I don't think he would want that because that's where the sex tape at. But I don't know. So Jordan, he comes to see Andy at work. They both make sort of amends to each other, make up or whatever the case may be. Then we get the scene at the salon as Karen and Mama Lisa, they about to leave the shop, the salon. Aaron, he comes in with this new state-of-the-art stroller or whatever for the twins. Karen, she gets to freaking out, telling Aaron, you doing too much. This is when Aaron decides, he pipes up. He's like, I'm tired of you doing all this when all I want to do is help. He's like, you just not used to a man that do too much. He's like, that's why you're not with Zach. And I was like, oh. And Karen was like, excuse me? And Aaron was like, I'm not done. He was like, you love to blame everybody for your misery. And well, maybe it's you. It says that he tells her that he loves her even though she don't want to be with him. And he's like, I won't let your sour attitude Your sour attitude on life affect my child. He's like, I'm going to be here for mine, whether you like it or not. And storms out that bitch. And Karen's like, Mama, you see the way he talked to me? And Mama Lisa's like, look, you need to take into consideration everything he just said. Because Mama Lisa basically like that. That nigga just tore in that ass, and I agree. So then we get this scene. Fatima, she gets home. Zach has already made dinner, and Fatima's surprised that it's a healthy, then she's impressed or whatever. And this is when Fatima mentions Angela's nanny suggestion. And to my surprise, because I remember in my last review I said that I didn't think Zach was going to be down with the nanny because of, you know, the financials and stuff. Him losing his money to Gary and not having the financials or whatever the case may be. So I thought he wasn't going to be with the nanny, but he was definitely down. Fatima was like, but the nanny going to be ugly. So we get this final scene. Danny, she storms into Tony's office. And she's like, she tells him she's been trying to find a way to apologize to him. And she's been getting advice from her friends and tells him about Zach's advice and Sabrina's advice and whatnot. Yeah. So she tells him she see all her friends having kids, trying to have kids and whatnot. And it's making her realize more and more that she might not want kids. And she tells him, but she understands that he and his kids are a package deal, so she's willing to, you know, take that package. And she's like, you forgive me? And Tony's like, maybe we need to do Zach's apology and then I'll forgive you. So as Danny starts to go down on him, Tony's ex-wife walks in, but she introduces herself as his wife, so I don't know, complicated. And I'm like, okay, they ended that with like it's a hell of a cliffhanger. We knew he had a wife. Why do these bitches keep getting niggas with wives? It's weird. Like, Tyler Perry making these women look wild as hell. Like, Aaron coming in there doing all that. Like, come on. This is so extra. It's either that or you have like I don't know. But that's how the episode ends. Again, like I said, probably C-, C+. Keep it somewhere right there. Predictions, thoughts, episodes to come. Like I said, I don't think Rich is going to be too keen on the fact that Calvin to be the sperm donor. He probably just stop fucking with Sabrina. Or he might change his tune and actually want to have the kids, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Again, Andy still hasn't brought up that blood stain. I don't think she will. Her and Jordan are back on good terms. Gary got this weird-ass fixation on Andy. And now he got both of their places bugged, so that's going to be wild. And I wonder how long it's going to take them to find that fucking bug. Like, come on. It's right there. Plain sight-ass shit. What else? I talked about Sabrina. Danny. I mean, if she ready to be stepmommy, then that's her. Karen. I mean, Aaron said what he said. What you gonna do? You gonna choose Aaron or Trey? Because Zach is off the table. As a teamer, they just gotta work with what they got. And Andy, I don't know. It is what it is. We shall see. And what if Pam and Trey do start talking? I wonder how Karen gonna feel. But those are my little thoughts of what have yous for episodes to come. Thanks for watching this review. Again, sorry about the construction in the background. Thanks for, I said thanks for watching. Comment below what you would grade this week's episode, what you thought of this week's episode. If I forget anything, if I'm off on anything, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe. I don't only review Sistas. I review other shows as well. Again, thanks for watching. See y'all in the next review. Loud ass shit. Peace.